headed to, it doesn't matter where I'm going. I wanted to communicate the reason why abstinence is so important while you're single. Now, let me just start by saying this. I know that being abstinent, meaning abstaining from doing it, having the sex, is looked at as old school. It doesn't matter. It's not important. You know, that's not going to stop you from getting married. And I understand why people think that way. Now, let me just first say this. There is a reason why God designed things the way He did. It's for our benefit, right? The reason why a lot of us will not be able to contain ourselves, well, we can with Jesus, but why a lot of us won't turn away from things and why we keep getting tripped up by lust and counterfeits and the wrong type of person, whether it be a man or a woman, is because we have given in so much to our lust. The world has told us that it is okay to sleep around, and we can look at from media on both sides, men and women, right? Music, especially hip hop culture, especially if you grew up, excuse me, y'all, especially if you grew up in the Black community, well, the other communities too. Having casual sex has just been so normalized, and all that does is distract you. All that does is keep you away from having clear discernment if somebody's for you or not. All that does is attach you to the wrong people, baggage. It's very hard to discern if somebody's truly for you when you're sleeping with them. And this is why. When you exchange, I can't say the word CX too much or else YouTube will flag it, so rock with me. When you exchange with somebody or a different, right? Yes, the world will be like, oh, you're nasty, you're a 304, all of that. But what it does is when you exchange and have intimate relations with somebody, your body releases the same chemicals as it does when you are drunk, when you are high. You get the same dopamine hits when you are intimate with somebody, and it clouds your judgment. You know, if you drink a little too much, it starts clouding your judgment. Same thing happens with sex, right? When you are intimate with people, whether it be a man or woman, your business, but it clouds your clarity. It also doesn't allow you to get to know them effectively. I don't know what it is, but okay, so my husband and I, we were not intimate before we were married. And because we weren't intimate before we were married, we had so much time to talk. We had so much time and we had to fill it up. We were like, well, we can't do that. We're not going to do that. So let's keep talking. Let's keep getting to know each other. Let's keep discovering each other. It is a whole different ball game when you are getting to know somebody, when you're intimate and when you're not. When you're having sex with somebody, for whatever reason, time moves like this, right? And you don't really get time to vet them and to talk to them and ask the important questions because you're distracted. You're distracted by the and the love and all the passion and the good feelings. You're distracted. When you're in a good mood, of course you're not going to run a rock the boat or ask hard questions. But when you're not getting those dopamine hits, when your body's not releasing those chemicals, it's easier for you to be like, do you even like X, Y, and Z? Do you want this? You're not so worried about pleasing the person because you're trying to get to know them. It's very hard to explain, but there is a huge difference between being not intimate with somebody and getting to know them versus being intimate. And I'm not telling y'all to be intimate for a specific amount of time. No, I mean be intimate. I mean do not be. Excuse me. I'm flustered. Don't be intimate until you're married. And the truth be told, the only person that, this is going to sound so old school to some people and sound so religious and so churchy, but the only person that really deserves you and deserves you physically is the person that marries you. To my women, we have too many examples of women being left in the dust by men when they have babies. You change once you're pregnant. You change once you become a mother because you have things to worry about that you never had to worry about before. And here's the sad part. You don't know how your body's going to respond to things. You don't know how your body's going to react to pregnancy and whatever. You can have a most wonderful pregnancy where you are the bee's knees and you're never sick, or you can have a horrible pregnancy. I don't wish that on nobody, where you're sick 24/7. You are not the same person you're going to be. And then once that baby comes, a lot of people don't understand why relationships fail when babies come, because you have a different level of responsibility. You have a different level of stress. You are sleep deprived and your hormones are out of whack. You're not the person you were prior to having kids. So ladies, you will never be that person again. That's why you hear a lot of women say, oh, I lost myself, or I don't know who I am, because they haven't adopted that I'm not even the person that I was. I'm a whole different creature now. I'm a whole different person. And so that takes time to learn and takes time to grow. So when you give a man that is not your husband a baby, you are gambling whether he's going to be there or not. You're gambling if he decides to go through it with you. But when you give your husband a baby, at least, and I know somebody's going to be like, well, just because you have a baby with your husband doesn't mean that you won't be a single mom, da 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 da. I get that, but it's different. A single mom doing it 100% by herself is very different from a woman who has an absent person that's in her household. It's different. Ask any single mom. Okay. Yes, you can be a woman who feels like she's a single woman in her marriage, single mother in her marriage, but it's apples and oranges. It's two different things. Oh, thank you. Two different things, okay? But hear me out. When a man decides to be a husband and a father, you have an entirely different experience versus a man who just wanted a baby and just want a baby mama. A man who just wants a baby mama, he don't really care about you like that. He cares about he likes you, but a man who is willing to marry, none of these ding dongs, but a healthy man who wants to marry you understands that now I am responsible for this woman. Now I have to stand in the battle for this woman. Now I have to pray. I am the head of a house. I'm going to be a father. A father is different than a daddy, okay? Anybody can be a baby daddy. A man has to choose to be a father. Men have to choose to be husbands. Hear me when I say, I want you guys to understand there is a reason why you should make somebody wait and why you should hold out on your husband. Now, I'm not bashing single moms. I was raised by a single mom. I'm not telling a single mom. Everybody's story is different. So I'm not here to be like, you're a single mom. No. What I'm trying to do is, this isn't articulated enough in our culture, in our society. A lot of women, especially young women, do not understand that it is a huge difference between somebody being your husband. Do not let these folks on the internet with these sob stories tell you anything. It is different from having a husband than it is having a boyfriend / baby daddy. Now, is every single person's situation horrible? No, but you're still gambling. And at least the odds are better in your favor if you wait on your husband. Your husband is the only one that deserves your body, because he, at least by the grace of God, made a promise to God to provide and protect and to do all the things. A boyfriend has he's not held to that standard. A boyfriend giving you a baby is not held to that standard. He could do whatever he want to do. He want to walk away. At least if you get mad at your husband, he got to go time out. He got to go think about it. He can't just be like, I'm out. Okay, you out, but you coming back. You know what I mean? So I just want my ladies to understand, because this was not told in my generation. Nobody in my generation said how important abstinence is. There is a layer where we are serving God and giving up to God, right? That is important. But it's also important for us to do what we need to do to protect ourselves. And also, the last point I want to make is, if you or your husband have not curbed your lust prior to getting married, good luck when you're married. There is no switch when people get on that altar. There is no switch when people go and say, I do. I know people think that there's this magic trick that happens. No, if a man or woman is giving into their lust and giving into their desires prior to marriage, they have no practice to sustain themselves in marriage. And let me just tell you, marriage does not cure lust. Marriage does not cure lust. Marriage doesn't cure anything. It magnifies everything, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are insecure, you're going to be more insecure. If you are unhappy, you're going to be even more unhappy. Marriage doesn't do anything but magnify. So that is why in your single season, enjoy, be happy. Be happy for exactly where God has called you to be. Make sure that you guys are abstaining and practicing abstaining, because your husband or wife will not always be there to give you some. And then when they don't, you can't turn around and go to other things and go to corn and toys. And no, you have to keep yourself pure for your marriage. Like, don't think because you married, you get a free pass to do what you want to do. Absolutely not. You still have to wait and wait on your husband or your wife. Okay. Marriage doesn't cure anything, you guys. It doesn't cure loneliness. It doesn't cure people. There's a lot of people that feel lonely in their marriages. So you have to do the work within yourself to prepare for what you're asking for. So if two whole people come together, and you don't have to be perfect, but I have to explain, because a lot of people don't get this. They think that if they get the right man, that boom, they're going to be happy, or they get the right woman, boom, their lust issue is going to go away. Absolutely not. You have to give those things and submit those things to the Lord before you're married. And you're going to have to still work on them while you're married. You know, sometimes us accepting Jesus Christ doesn't mean things go away. No, you still got to put in the work. We can pray for our garden, but baby, you still got to toil. You still got to maintain. You still got to get in that soil, put down fertilizer, water those plants. You know what I mean? So I want you guys to understand that marriage is a gift. You can have marriage. I truly believe if you work towards it and you get yourself prepared for it. However, I don't want you guys to go into marriage thinking it's a fantasy. I don't know why the camera's blurry. It's not blurry on my end. I don't want you guys going into marriage thinking it's a fantasy and all of your hopes and dreams and your desires are just gonna magically. It don't work like that. Marriage is very intentional, like anything else. If you're starting a business, intentionality. If you want to eat right and live a healthy life, it takes intention. If you want good friendships, it takes intentionality. Everything that gives us takes intentionality. Okay, so not impossible, but abstinence, practice. And when I say being abstinent, that includes by yourself too. Okay, hear me louder for the people in the back. When you're abstinent, that does not give you a pass to use toys or turn on corn or even soft corn. Netflix, because sometimes Netflix be looking like old school Cinemax. Okay, you still have to practice doing nothing, keeping your hands where God can see them. And it gets easier. Let's just say that it's not always easy. You might fall short of the glory, but when you keep your hands where God can see you, it makes that muscle work more, right? Like if you go to the gym, when you first go to the gym, it's hard. It's hard picking up the weights. Your body hurts. But after a while, you'll be like, oh, I got this. Same thing when it comes to abstinence. It's not impossible. It's hard in the beginning. When you've been given over to your desires and your lust and all of that, it's hard in the beginning. But the more you do it, the more you work that muscle, you like, okay, I'm good. I just need to pray about this, or I need to go do something else. Okay, it's easier to not give into your desires when you've worked the muscle to not give in. But marriage is not going to cure that. Don't think that I can watch corn every single day and get married and think it's going to just magically go away. It's not. It don't work like that. So prepare. If you are praying for a husband, if you are praying for a wife, please prepare your body, your mind, and your spirit for what you're asking for. Because if you don't work on it now, you're gonna have to work on it in your marriage, and you don't want to do it then, because then it's like you got accountability part. I think that there's so many things that the church or just believers, we don't talk about enough. So I'm your big sister, coach, whatever you need me to do, whatever you need to be, to let you guys know that there's stuff that needs to be worked on. Okay, I love you guys. I hope this was well received. I dropped a video yesterday on biblical submission. You guys go check that out. The person next to me that went in and went out the store, and I'm still here talking to y'all, so I gotta go. I love you guys. You guys have a beautiful and blessed day, and I'll catch y'all in my next one. Bye.